City Junction, River City next station stop.
You're crazy with the heat. Credit's no good for a notion, salesman.
Aboard, all aboard.
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an Anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, cask and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly paper.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where did he get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk. You can bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk, you can talk. You can talk, 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 talk. Bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you wanna, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why it's the Model T Ford made the trouble, made the people wanna go, wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
Not the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store, at the modern store, at the present day store, at the present day modern departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, 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 talk. Bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you wanna, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why it's the you need a biscuit made the trouble. You need to put the crackers in a package. The you need a biscuit in the airtight sanitary package made the Cracker Barrel obsolete.
Obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch cut plugs on by the stove. I changed the approach of the traveling salesman, made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, cask and demijohn. Gone with the single barrel milk can. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
Hill.
Hill?
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 Hill!
No!
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory?
What's the fella's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Nor the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, nor the you need a biscuit in the airtight sanitary package or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line?
Nor a doggone thing. He's just a bang beat bell ringing big call great go nectar nothing rip a roar and every time a bullseye salesman. That Professor Harold Hill.
Fellas, what's his line? What's his line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town. The big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums. Big brass bass, and the piccolo with uniform suit with the shiny gold braid on the coat and a big red stripe running down.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a Jew's heart.
No, the fella sells bands, boys bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers, and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? Piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? Piper pays him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we cross the state line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in this state. Board.
All right. If you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
Oh, you know Harold Hill.
I never saw him in my life, but I know this much. He's giving every one of us a black eye. After he's worked a town over, the next salesman to a ride automatically gets tarred and feathered and rode out of the city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Well, wait till it happens to you. The hair never grows back.
But Why should he get rode out on a rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction booklets, he has to guarantee to teach the kids how to play.
Well?
And to form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
And what's wrong with that?
He don't know one note of music from another. That's what's wrong with that. He can't tell the difference between a bass drum and a pipe organ. Why, I'll catch up with that swindling 2-bit thimble rigger, and what I do,
Yeah, you're
I'll squeal him
mad,
so
Charlie.
loud.
Sure like to be there when you catch up with a fella.
Well, it wouldn't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill wouldn't try to sell them neck-bowed Hawkeyes out here.
Board, gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'm gonna have to give Iowa a try.
Excuse me, I don't believe I caught your name.
You know, I don't believe I dropped it.
The Iowa way to treat you when we treat you, which we may not do at all. There's an Iowa kind, a special chip on the shoulder, attitude we've never been without that we recall. We can be cold as our falling thermometers in December, crisp about our weather in July, and we're so bright non-stop we can stand, touch your nose and door, a week at a time, and never say hi to all.
Cousin Will never come? Aunt Bertha never come?
Your Aunt Bertha's dead.
Well, she wouldn't have come anyway.
We can be cool as our falling
thermometers in December, and crisp about our weather in July, and we're so bright on summer we can stand, touch your nose and door, a week at a time, and never say hi to all. What we'll give you our shirts, and a back to go with it. If your crop should happen to die.
You're welcome. Glad to have you with us. Even though we may not ever mention it again. You really ought to get Iowa.
Yes, Mr. Squires. I'm interested in a rig for Sunday, if you could accommodate me.
Then I expect you ought to see the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late as usual.
Gregory!
Marcellus!
You old son of a gun, what? But Greg?
Well, it's Professor Harold Hill now. Harold Hill's the name.
You didn't tell me you was coming.
Well, I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how I know you'd end up in a tank town like this? Used to be a pretty big slicker back when you were in business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you work. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable girl, Ethel Toffelmeyer, boss's niece.
Ah, you gone legitimate, eh? Well, I knew you'd come to no good.
So what's the new pitch?
Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
You're not back in the van business. I thought you did steam automobiles.
Well, I was.
Well, what happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No.
So give me the lowdown here, Mars.
You're not going to get very far with these stubborn Iowans, Greg. Besides, we got a music teacher here that'll expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Is it male or female?
The music teacher? She's the librarian. Female.
Perfect. That's just what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, I want you to point her out to me.
I got it. So how are you going to start the pitch?
Oh, same old way. My first step will be to get to keep that librarian off her feet, and then my next step is going to be to get your town out of the terrible trouble it's in.
River City isn't in any trouble.
Well, then I'll just have to create some. I need to create a desperate need for a boys' band around here, you remember? So what's new? What can I use?
Nothing. Oh, except the billiard parlor just installed a new pool table.
They ever had a pool table here before?
No, only billiards.
That'll do. I'll see you later, Mars. And remember, music teacher.
Music teacher.
Are you Mr. Dunlop?
Yep.
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I said trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a bigger player, certainly mighty proud to say. I'm always mighty proud to say it. Why, I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Helps you cultivate horse sets and a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad leave to yourself for a 3-rail billiard shot? But just as I say it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a bot-line game, I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that slaughter. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradation. I said first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pitchback suit. And he's listening to some big out-of-town Jasper here tell him about horse race gambling. Well, not a wholesome truck race, no, but a race where they sit down right on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on damn patch, make your blood boil, well, I should say. Now, friends, and all week long, your River City youth will be frittering away. I said your young men will be frittering away there. Noontime, supper time, shore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions. Pull to the screen door, patch the beefsteak pounder. Never mind pumping any water to your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. Well, I'm thinking of the kids in the Knickerbocker. Sure tell young ones, peeking in the pool hall window at the school, you got trouble. Folks, right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They be trying on Bebo, trying out Cubettes, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beads, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up the telltale breath with sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall, heading for the dance in the armory, libertine men and scarlet women, and ragtime. Shameless music will grab your son, your daughter with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brains, the devil's playground, trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. You gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school.
Our children.
Mothers of River City, heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's whiz-bang? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like swell! And so's your old man! Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble! Right here in River City, with a capital T and that rhymes with stand for fool. We've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule.
Our children's gonna have trouble.
Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with 15 number balls, the devil's tool.
Devil's tool.
Oh, yes, we got trouble, trouble, trouble.
Oh, yes, we got trouble. We got trouble.
With a team. I'm rhyming with T. And the stand for fool. Remember my friends. Travel this way but once.
Oh, we got trouble, trouble, trouble. Right here in River City with the capital T. And that rhymes with P. And that stands for pool. Stands for pool. We surely got trouble, trouble. Right here in River City, right here. Trying to figure out a way to give the young ones more of after school.
Excuse me, miss, did you drop your...
No.
Well, did I meet you way
No.
back? Well, you see, I'll only be in town for a short while.
Good.
That you, daughter?
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear. Now your exercises.
Yes, Mom.
I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Ooh, who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So, do, la, re, ti, me, a little slower. Please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Now don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and loves her, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all of them other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Mama, do you think that I'd allow a common basher? Now, really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned. I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to that blend of Paul Bunyan, St. Pat, and Noah Webster you've concocted for yourself, and that Irish imagination, your Irish stubbornness, and that library full of books.
Well, if that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that a way to walk into the house?
Hello?
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss for my boy. The lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop. having a party on Saturday. Would you please come? I would especially like it very much if you would come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of the lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop.
I'll bet he won't say it. No, thank you. Amaryllis. 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 He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not only because of his lisp, Amaryllis. That's just part of it.
And what's the other part?
Never mind, dear. Just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you or your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
But I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to say it the very second you see it, too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
There, darling, don't cry. You have lots of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never. I'll end up an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my crosshand piece?
May I play my?
May I play my crosshand piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis. For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put in the name when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shinn, for leading the singing. And to J.C. Squires for his fine stereopticon slides. And to Ethel Toffemeyer, our fine player piano. As mayor of River City, I welcome you River Citizens to the 4th of July exercises held indoors, Madison Gymnasium. Count the weather. 4 score. Oh, no. Thank you. The school board will now present a patriotic tableau. Oh, read the note. Oh, the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Wonton Ye girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle, My Wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shinn, will take a leading part.
Wonton Ye!
Wonton Ye!
Wonton Ye!
Wonton Ye!
I will now count to 20 in Indian tongue. In, teen, to the feather feet! Oh, I've been shot! Oh, George, you shot me!
Off that cracker!
I know who did it. Tommy Geelis did it. Tommy Geelis did it.
Why, yes, it was Tommy Geelis.
Tommy Geelis, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Oh.
Miss Ruffian, who is a disgrace to this town. 4 score. Oh, another note. The Payne's fireworks spectacle, last days of Pompeii, will take place providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out from the meadow, past the creek, from the pest house.
Predict fair? Sure did, Ewert. That's why we all prepared for a storm.
Now, the Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, JC.
Hey, you wouldn't be very successful in the banking business being accurate most of the time.
Hey,
Number 8's late again.
I make her early.
She's late, all right. She's right on time. What's the matter with your watch?
Oh, my Lord!
In public!
Who in the world I see?
Never mind! 4 score!
Pool table in town?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Just a minute.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you let me get on with the exercises?
There'll be no more exercises. Pool table model gets settled.
Yeah! Let's protect our children. Resist sin and corruption. Smite out that devil and keep our young boys pure. Folks, listen. May I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with the troubled friends with the wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table ever hope to compete with a bull trombone? Rah, rah, ra-da-da-da-da, rah, rah. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. All billiard parlor walls come a-tumbling down. Well, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, I said a boys' band. Do you hear me? I said River City gonna have a boys' band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill is on hand. River City's gonna have that boys' band, and sure as the Lord, apples. And that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. And you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals. And you'll hear the rolling of drums. And the shimmer of trumpets. Tan-ta-da! And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed. when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed timpani and spittoon, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double-belled euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having his big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the score.
Trombones hit the counterpoint, all 110 cornets blazed away. To the rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and the marching still
off of me. Let me go. I said get
Thank you,
off.
Professor. Have to make an example of him. Ringleader, you know? What he does, the gang does.
Geely Clyde, let me go.
Day laborers south of town, you wild kid. You hanging around my oldest girl last Sunday down Main Street.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me.
We's just walking together, Geely Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you was doing. My little Gracie Senior. I'm gonna give you a warning. If I ever catch you touching my daughter, oh, you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you about this band thing over at City Hall. 10 o'clock sharp, Monday morning.
Constable, I'll be responsible.
Now, Professor, you don't know this kid. He's tough and he's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I wanted to talk to you about the band.
Oh, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
Oh, I don't mean you playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Have you ever done anything with perpetual motion?
I nearly had it a couple times.
You did? Well, then you're my man. Do you realize that no one has ever invented a music holder for the marching piccolo player where there's no place to hang the music?
Geely Clyde, wonder where I could get some wire from.
Well, check your cellar. That's where people keep wire. Oh, and Tommy. Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, young lady, young miss, could you come here for a second? What's your name?
Zaneeta. I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me, ye gods.
Do you know Tommy Geelis?
Well,
Tommy, this is Zaneeta. I want you to escort this young lady home.
Only accepting I'm not going home. See, I have to go to the library, ye gods.
Well, then I want you to escort this young lady home by way of the library and the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
Ye gods.
Well, Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow. Made a couple of mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor owns that billiards parlor and the new pool table.
Oh, I see. Well, what was my other mistake?
That's Zaneeta, the mayor's oldest girl.
Sorry, Professor, but we need your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind. We need letters and papers.
Make him put up a bond.
Hold on a minute. What am I hearing? You, sir, right here. I want you to sing Ice Cream.
Ice cream, but I don't sing, young man, if that's what you're implying.
Talk then. Down here.
Ice cream.
That's nice.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
You see? Singing is only sustained talking. Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream. Great work, Oldie. That was incredible.
You out of her eyes. Stacy, nerds.
Ladies, from now on, you will never see one of these men without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. They've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream.
How can there be
any
Sin insincere? Where is the good in good? By in goodbye? Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Mystify, tell me what can be fair in farewell, dear. While one single star shines above, how can there be
don't suppose you happen to live alone
No.
or any... Well, I have some wonderful caramels right over...
Mr. Hill.
Well, it's Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the street like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that myself. I'm a conservatory man. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of art 5.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town. And I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there, which may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Greg!
Oh, hi, Marcellus. Remember, don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. She ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
She did. Boy, did you cut a swath tonight. Even for a minute, I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like you used to imitate that concert band fellow back in Joplin.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in rare form these days, son. You just keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It only used to take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Well, it still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Oh, Greg, you haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But you can't pass off yourself out for a band director for any 4 weeks.
Mars.
But you don't know one note from another.
Well, I have a revolutionary new method called the think system, where you don't bother with notes. Besides, once the uniforms arrive, the people forget about everything else, at least long enough for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son, and I've got it timed down to the last wave on the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
You're gonna line yourself up some canoodling, eh?
Well...
Say, I could set you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely girl, teaches Sunday school.
Oh, no wide-eyed, eager, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of gal spins webs no spider ever... Now listen, boy. A gal who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir, for no Diana do I play for. And I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss, how ignorance be compared to bliss. Will I spark, I fizz, for the lady who knows what time it is. And I cheer, I rave, for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me. No bright-eyed, blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No, do young miss who keeps resisting all the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, why she's the fisherman, I'm the fish, you'll see. Plop! I flinch, I shy, when the lass with the delicate air goes by, but I smile, I grin, when the gal with the touch of sin walks in, and I hope, I pray, for Hester to win just one more A. The sadder but wiser girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
Oh, Pressure, sir! We're all agog, simply agog, on the KV.
Everyone is so excited about the band.
I'm Ethel Toffelmeyer, the pianola girl. And this is Mrs. Squires and Mrs. Hicks. And of course you've met Eulalie McKechnie Shinn, our mayor's wife. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I couldn't say. I could not say. Oh, no, I could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes, I am reticent.
Well, of course, Mrs. Shinn, I completely understand. But you must know that part of my musical plans for the town include a ladies' auxiliary for the club. Oh, Miss Shinn! Wait! Do that again. Your foot. The way you raised it just now.
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that bothers me.
What grace! What natural flow of rhythm! What expression of line and movement!
Now, Mr. Hill.
Oh, you must accept the chairmanship for the ladies' auxiliary for the classic dance, mustn't she, ladies?
Oh, yes!
Every move you make, Miss Shinn, bespeaks Del Sar.
Oh!
Will you say yes?
Eulalie McKechnie Shinn, well, that is, dancing. Well.
Then you accept?
Yes, Professor Hill, and I would like to say...
Thank you so much. Now, ladies, the young woman who plays the piano, a Miss Marion Paroo, I believe.
Oh!
Well, after all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 cheap.
Professor, her kind of woman doesn't belong on any committee. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books?
Pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 pick a lot, pick a little more.
Oh, Zach!
Cheap, 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 cheap. And the worst thing, of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but I'll tell. The man lives on my street. Let me tell.
Stop! I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Madison is in the Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park. There's a Madison Hospital. Was it that Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say. Big show-off. Probably gave the town the library, too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city, but he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh yes. That woman made brazen overtures with a guilt-dead guarantee. She had a golden glint in her eye and a silver voice with a counterfeit ring. Just melt her down and you'll reveal a lump of lead as cold as steel. Here, where a woman's heart should be.
He left River City, a library building, but he left all the books to her.
Chaucer,
Rabelais,
Balzac.
cheep, 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 cheep. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, cheep, cheep. Talk a lot, pick a little
Why,
more. Pick a little,
certainly,
talk a little, pick a little,
gentlemen.
talk a
I
little,
have
cheep,
just
cheep,
what you
cheep,
want
cheep,
right
cheep,
over at my
cheep,
hotel.
cheep, cheep,
Please come with me.
cheep, cheep,
Good
cheep,
night,
cheep,
ladies.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, cheep, 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 cheep. Pick a
Good
little, pick a little,
night,
cheep, cheep, cheep. Talk a lot, pick a little more.
Good night, ladies.
Good
night, ladies. We're going to leave you
Talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, pick a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 pick a little, talk a little, cheep.
Know everything and it doesn't make any difference.
What?
You were probably very young. Anybody can make a mistake.
What are you talking about?
No explanations, no apologies. Please, you see, I'll only be in town for a short while, and it's the sadder but wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what would you like to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
The librarian. You're not hearing me, Marion. Marbles, 16 Steelies, 11 Aggies, 12 Peewees, and one big classic with American flag right in the middle. I think I'm gonna drop her.
No!
Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to men. Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marion has stumbled, and I busted my whatchamacallit. I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing in the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, it's a long lost cause I can never win, for the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with head librarian, such as Mary. Madam Librarian. I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, it's a long-lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marion. Ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights. Madam Librarian. Marshmallow? Rian. Well, Tommy, we've had a pretty good day. 11 sales out of 12 tries. I'll tell you what. It's almost noon. Why don't you go home and get some supper, and I'll try a few by myself.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thank you, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you soliciting? Why, you haven't got any license.
Why, no, Mr. Mayor. I was just observing the beautiful architecture you have in River City, and I was thinking to myself...
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory. Malfeasance without a permit. Why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I was just there, and I really must just miss you. And oh, my God!
What?
Mr. Mayor, your hand.
What about it?
Why, your little finger.
Yeah?
The spread of it. Why, that's hereditary.
What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the split valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Oh, is that good?
Good! Why, it means that America has at last produced an artist who can finger the minuet waltz in 50 seconds.
Now, where can I get one of these horns?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Mr. Mayor. Sign right here, and that'll be $17 import fee.
Oh, yes, sir. Just think, I could have missed this whole... Zaneeta and Gracie. Why, I haven't got any, son! Oh, you unscrupulous! Flew by night unfabulous! Oh, you best be down to City Hall with your by-God references by 3 o'clock!
You mean this afternoon?
Well, I couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off! Whew!
Miss Paroo, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Why, if your boy has that same nice jawline and that firm chin, well, by George. Well, not that it'd ever be really great, you understand, but...
And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, you see, all the really great cornet players, they were Irish. There was O'Clark, O'Mendez, O'Klein.
But, Professor, we are Irish.
No! Really? Well, then that clenches it. Sign right here, Miss Paroo. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Fine. That'll be $7 import fee. First payment due opening of band practice. And, of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Why, certainly his uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, anticipate, imagine, at no extra cost whatsoever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow to interfere with the simple joys and pleasures of today.
Would it have a
stripe? Why, certainly, my boy. A big, wide red one running down each leg. Now, what do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you can get him to play in a band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anyone can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'll pick you for hat carrying, clay pipe smoking, shamrock wearing, mavernine, pinching, tarot hall, minstrel singing Irishman, be Gavin, be Jabbers. Where are you from, my boy?
Gary, Indiana.
Oh, I know it, you. Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Oh, I see now.
Gold medal class of art 5. How do you do, Miss Paroo?
How do you do, Mr. Hill?
Oh, well, Paroo, of course. I thought the name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since this afternoon, but
He wants to put Winthrop in the band!
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Your husband a musical? Well, I'd love to talk with
You
him.
burst in on everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs. We're not interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why don't we let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. But that's all the more reason why your brother should have something like this to,
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. As to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Well, musical tricks, doesn't it? Well, I think she likes the idea. A little cautious, perhaps, but we all admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive to the end of the week and I'll be back for the boys' measurements.
Oh, about the boy's measurements. I make all his clothes. Sleeve 18, waist 21, and crotch 14.
Fine. Now I must get back to my hotel, if you'll excuse me.
Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really...
Oh, don't you worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart she's just as wonderful as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Paroo.
Good day, Professor.
Has he gone?
He has, and I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future. Gary, Indiana, conservation class about 5. Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing traveling man that comes to town. The fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. Only it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop! Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Scrub to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now what are you up to? Why do you need a book at this hour of night?
I have a feeling the Indiana Journal may help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Grainer, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
Oh, he does?
Or Ed Gamage in that buggy of his with the removable back seat. And I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me now. All I want is a plain man. All I want is a modest man, a quiet man, a gentleman, a straightforward and honest man to sit with me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Iowa, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself, and more interested in us than in me. And if occasionally he'd ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great, him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel
just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me walk with him where the others ride by. Walk and love him till I die.
Zaneeta. Hey, Zaneeta.
Tommy, Papa and Mom are sitting right there in the bank. Egots.
All right then. Meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Upward League night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see, isn't that just what I said? First it was the footbridge, and now it's the lumberyard. What's next? The black hole of Calcutta? Egods.
I only want to show you my invention.
What invention?
My music holder for a marching piccolo player. It still has a couple of minor flaws. You see, when you hold it tight enough to keep the music steady, you cut off the circulation and you can't wriggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Oh, Tommy, it's Papa and Mama!
All I'm saying, is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said to him. Get that spellbinder's credentials. And now look, that morning of July 4th, 1912. My wife is out dancing at any and all hours instead of in the home.
Oh, now, George.
The school board is singing up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. My oldest girl is boodling with the wildest kids from town. And my business has fallen so far off, I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shinn, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of '05.
If you'll just take time to read a little bit about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look much further. It's on page...
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon's coming up from the depot.
The Wells Fargo wagon!
A likely story. At this hour of day, nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon.
It could be the band instruments.
The band instruments.
Wagon is a coming down the street. Please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
In March I got a gray Mackinac.
And once I got some grapefruit from Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming now. Is it a prepaid surprise or COD?
For dishes.
Or it could be
Yes, you're right, it surely could be
something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Last September.
And I expect a new rocking chair.
I hope I get my raisins from Fresno.
The DAR has sent her cannon for the courthouse square.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming now. I don't know how I can never wait to see. It could be something for someone who is no relation, but it could be.
Yes, you're right, it surely could be
Something special.
something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a
instructions in due course. But in the meantime, I want you to stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instrument, and remember, think the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
Oh, sister, this is the most scrumptious soggle thing I've ever seen. Oh, sister, isn't this the most scrumptious soggle thing I've ever seen? Oh, sister.
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by God tooting out those horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury or the county seat. Now, Miss Marion, about this book.
Come, George, tempus fugit.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you want to. I have to get something from the librarian. Now, about that book. Thank you. Oh, pardon me.
The Ladies' Dance Committee meets Tuesday nights. I hope to see you there.
body with you. Lovely. Now, let's have a go at our Grecian urns. 1 Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urn. And a fountain. Trickle, 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 trickle. Oh, splendid, ladies. Absolutely splendid. I depict our Del Sar display will be the highlight of the ice cream sociable. Now, gentlemen, when you're ready. Oh, and remember, don't make me tell you again. Always keep your face to the audience. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Dunlop.
It's you in the sunrise, it's you in my cup, it's you all the way into town. It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up, and it's your got to go, dear, that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all of my dreams. Till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you, it's you. Yes,
Smile, girls.
it's you. Oh, yes, it's you.
Please, kids. Mrs. Shinn will have my head.
Oh, Mr. Washburn, we're entitled to 5 more minutes.
If you want to try holding these kids back, go ahead.
Oh, move! Get out of my way! Goodness!
All right, then. What'll it be?
The shapoopy!
Now, a woman who kissed on the very first date is usually a hussy. And a woman who waits the second time out is anything but fussy. And a woman who waits the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's the girl he's glad he's found. She's his shapoopy, 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 shapoopy. The girl who's hard to get. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. Walk around once, you face the curtain, then you walk around twice, and you make for certain. Once more in the flower garden, she'll never get sore if you beg her pardon. Squeeze her once when she is and look at you, get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pepper rubber, she'll never get sore on her way to supper. Now a little old sow is a no-gal, as anyone could see. Look at her now, she's a go-gal who only goes for me. Squeeze her once when she is and look at her, get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for a pepper rubber, she'll never get sore on her way to supper. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. But you can't bring her yet.
Mayor Shinn, Your Honor, Zaneeta and I are going steady behind your back.
Why, you...
We'd rather be doing it in front of your back.
Doing what? Oh, never mind.
Zaneeta's scared of you, but I'm not. I should think you'd hate to have your own daughter scared of you, Geely Clyde.
I'm going to warn you once more. If I ever catch you touching my daughter, oh, by God, horsewhip you till hell won't have her again!
Oh, now, George!
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means peep.
Yes. Now get out of this public building.
I have as much right in a public building as anybody.
Right? How do you get any right around here? By aiding and abetting the swindling activities of a spellbinding symbol salesman? You know what I see written all over you? Reform School! Oh. Now get out! Get out, you wild kid!
Papa, please! It's Capulets like you make blood in the marketplace, he gods!
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home. You, Lily.
But George, I only...
You tend to your dance.
Oh, my dance!
Yeah, dance. All handles Zaneeta, going up with the wrong kids from the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make you understand...
Well, you can't. No thanks to you. I read that book you gave me from cover to cover for a whole week now, and I didn't find a thing.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if you please...
Mr. Hill. I'll settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl. Yes!
All right, but in the meantime, I want you to know that I'm vouching for Tommy Geelis. That boy's got more confidence than any kid in town, and I'll tell you what. You're going to be standing in line waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
Ha! By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of their broken legs from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you something, my fine young feathered, never mind! J.C. Oliver, Olin Ewart! I want that man's references, and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slipperier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
You mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers, or get him in jail! I couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a button hook in the well water. Oh.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shinn has behaved abominably, and I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, no. A man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. Now, what does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths, but the brave man only 500. Of course, the mayor was already pretty upset on account of his billiard partner. You know, I suppose if a musical authority like yourself were to step in, you might be able to ease tensions in that scenario, but I couldn't ask you to do a thing like that.
Why, Professor Hill?
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet? Well, it's a mother-of-pearl keys, I believe.
I'm sure it's fine, but you see, he never touches it. Well, the first week or so, he made a few, experimental blats, I guess you'd say?
Yes, blats.
And he sings the minuet and G-da-da almost constantly.
La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. La-dee-da.
But he never touches the cornet.
Well...
He says you told him it wasn't necessary?
Well, you see...
He tells me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet he won't have to bother with the notes. No, Professor...
Now, Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary new method, I will admit. But you know what? So was Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the egg, the globe, Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I cannot discuss these things here in public, but if you were to allow me to call, when may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Miss Paroo, please consider joining our Del Star committee. Oh, you are so lovely, dear little Miss Paroo. Take a little professor. Take a lot. Take a little more. Take a little more. Take a little. Dance like a fairy princess with a mix for your floor. You want a golden shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see. We know that you will now unfold a forgiving heart of purest gold here, where a woman's heart should be. Fairy princess, moving floor, golden shimmer, silver shoes. Now unfold, heart of gold, here, where a woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read those books, and we simply adore them all. Chaucer, Unraveling, Rose. Pick a little tableau.
Professor, but we got our orders. We all been deputized.
Oh, yes. Well, congratulations. You know something? I've tried to give you fellows my references as credentials several times this week, but every single time, you seem to get off the subject somehow. Now I have just what you want right over at my hotel. It'll only take me a second.
Sorry, afraid we'll have to come along with you.
Oh, yes. Well, let me make sure I have my key. What's this? Why, it's a testimonial from Madame Renee, the only female bassoonist ever to play on the Red Path circuit. Her stage name, of course, actually she was from Moline, a Lida Rose Quackenbush.
Could I see that for a minute?
Oh, you'll never forget. Lida Rose, just like the old song. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
To get the sun back in the sky. Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose. About 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. By the rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. By the rose, how everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Light a rose, oh, won't you be mine? Light a rose, oh, light a rose, oh, light a rose.
ever tell him, won't you ever tell him? Oh, yes, I know. Ah, fiddlesticks. Just open your mouth and let it come out.
No, Mama.
No, nothing. If he ever comes to call again, you'll see him alone. And if you haven't got the gumption to tell him how you feel...
Tell him?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little ladylike hint.
Mama!
Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing!
Fishing?
With Harold!
You mean Professor Hill?
Uh-huh, and he still has some worms left.
Did you have a good time?
Uh-huh. He told me about his hometown, Gary, Indiana, and he thought he'd take me there someday. And he told me a song with hardly any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, they once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, that's the town that knew me well. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I have to form this elegant synchronization, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there's just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Gary, but Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I have to plot this elegant synchronization, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there's just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, but Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. Now I have to show Amaryllis my live frog.
Leave the dishes. I'll do them, Mama.
Don't you have to get changed for the sociable?
There's time later.
Shinns live around here somewhere?
The Shinn home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Oh, criminy. Oh, I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fellow Hill forming a boys band around here.
Yes?
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I gotta see Shinn. Number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop, but I sure wish it were 20. Would sure like to concentrate a few minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
The name's Charlie Cowell, anvil salesman. But just now I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That man's been the raspberry seed of my wisdom tooth just long enough. Why, he spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not gonna spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him. He's no more professor than...
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director and a scholastic...
Now, wait a minute. Fine director? Why, have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. That man's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
If you'll just let me explain.
I'd like to. I mean, I'd like to do a lot more than that if I had the time. I sure got the inclination. But I gotta leave word about this fellow Hill and leave this on the way to the depot. Bye, girly girl. See you next time through.
You'll never make it to the train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I gotta leave word, and I see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Mr. Cowell, you don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No, I mean, I don't know you, and...
I need more time anyway.
I mean, as well as I'd like to.
There's no trouble there, girly girl.
I never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes the real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. What am I doing? If I miss that train, I'll get fired, and I gotta leave word about this fellow Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me.
Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun.
There's your train. Now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little... How do I know... I gotta leave word about this fellow Hillen.
Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Marian. Light a rose now, everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Light a rose, oh, won't you be mine? Light a rose, oh, light a rose, oh, light a rose.
Marian, who is you talking to just? Why, Professor Hill.
Good evening, Miss Paroo. Good evening, Miss Marian.
You and Marian come up on set. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we go set like your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything.
Oh, now, Miss Marian, I'm not suggesting your invitation refer to anything other than academic enlightenment. Let's see, the think system. I've tried to come by your house a few times this week to explain it, but there always seem to be people around. Mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Well, that's good. I wouldn't want anybody beating my time. You wouldn't? No, ma'am. Well, I can see that tonight's not the most convenient night. I'll see you at the sociable later.
Professor Hill?
Yes?
Is it true that you've had 100? What I'm trying to say is...
Yes?
Is it true that you've really developed a think system?
A think system? Well, yes. It's really very simple. Simple as whistling. Nobody has to show you how to use your lips when you whistle. You just think a tune right up here and it comes out clearly right here. Now, why don't you try it yourself before you ask any questions?
I take your word.
If we sit down,
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
all music teachers?
I dare say you meet dozens, even 100.
Well,
Are they all as fascinated as I with the think system?
Well, some more and some less. One young lady had thought up the same system before I got to her town. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Oh, please don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. You must have many more important things to do with your time than explain the think system to me.
Well, I can't think of one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Well, Miss Marian, you can't believe everything you hear. After all, one even hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so Mother Winthrop and I would have some security. Now, surely you don't believe
Well,
that...
of course not. But that's just what I'm saying, isn't it? Now, why do you think people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness, jealousy. Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Exactly. And jealousy mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen. Now, what have you heard?
Nothing about you personally, just generally.
Well, what have you heard generally?
Just that... But surely it stands to reason that disappointment and jealousy can lead to... I mean, take you, for instance. Your attentions to customers and, well, teachers might be easily misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, now, honestly, mightn't they?
Well...
And so you say if another salesman or somebody were jealous, I mean, they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Why, of course.
It just goes to show you shouldn't believe everything you hear. I mean, if you discuss things...
Miss Marian, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? You do sit, don't you? Your legs, they bend and all, right?
We could sit on the porch steps.
We could also go sit over at a hollow log by the footbridge.
I couldn't dream of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Oh, just to talk.
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Well, then meet me there in 15 minutes.
I can't. Some other time. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, my dear little librarian. If you pile up enough tomorrows, all you'll find is you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
Oh, so would I.
well, then the footbridge in 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama! What? I just told Professor Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be and the saints be praised it works.
What does?
I've been using a tink system on you from the parlor.
Uniforms have arrived. The kids are in them already. People are going to be screaming for music if they show up at the sociable.
Yeah.
Here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's trying to keep the kids together at least, pretending to hold a practice over at the lumber yard.
All right, Mars, you can go get the rig.
Hi, I got it.
Hey, what time's the last freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
Oh, well, it's not even 8:30 yet.
Oh, look, you want to turtle wordle your way around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap?
Relax, Mars. I'm going to meet you by the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Well, what I meant to say was, well, I'd say you're about 26 years too late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fella.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost much longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. Suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Oh, now, Miss Marion, sure you don't believe I've been trying to sell you anything.
No, you've given me something. That's why I came.
But I don't recall giving you...
Yes, you have. Something beautiful. That's why I came, and I'm glad. Well, surely you don't believe that I want much more of you. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. There've been many ports of call, and there will be many more. That's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you've left behind for me.
Mary and I... Well, you look beautiful tonight.
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all.
Marion, there's a lot you don't know about me.
Hey, Greg.
Excuse me, I'm expecting a telegraph from Hector Belslor. This could be it. Well, now what?
Who's the salesman here? Looks like she's selling and you're buying.
Well, I had to keep her off balance, didn't I? And I decided I didn't know I'd be leaving tonight. It's
Off balance? She's so far off balance you can't tell her from a cat boat in a hurricane.
Well, listen, Buster Brown, I've come through the ranks on this skirmish, and I'm not leaving without my commission.
You're not going to get very far out there on the footbridge.
Well, there's a place over by Madison Picnic Park that makes that footbridge look like an old lady's home. Now beat it. There's never a dull moment in the music business. Now, where were we?
You're about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Oh, well, we don't have to talk about that now, do we?
Oh, no, we don't. Or ever for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately, but she did plenty when you first came here.
Oh, about what?
About Professor Hill, Gary Conservatory of Music, gold medal class of Ot 5. Harold, there wasn't any gold medal class in Ot 5.
Well, there certainly was.
Because the town wasn't even built until Ot 6. I'll see you at the sociable.
You knew this whole time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came. Tore this page out of the Indiana Journal. It was originally intended to use against you, but now I give it to you with all my heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you? Why, you little... While 110 cornets played the air, then I modestly took my place as one and only bass, and I moved on up and down the square.
Good night, my someone, good night, my love.
While 110 cornets played the air,
our star is shining, it's bright as light.
there were horns of every shape and kind. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be.
Well, 110 cornets played the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone, good night.
This guy's crazy. He's going all over town spilling
Off of
everything.
me. I'll say I'm crazy, missed my train, probably lost my job, but I got you now, Hill. And you'd be in the clique right now headed bed for that piano teacher. I'd tell her all about you and what she'd do. Lily gags me around till I couldn't get to Shinn. Man-hungry, doxy, round-hill biz-gig.
Why, you dirty little, I'm gonna kill you.
Why, you bully, you big blow-off. I'll be in this town until you get yours up, down, through, and sideways. You never even knew the territory.
Come on, Greg. The rig's in the alley. Let's go. Come on.
Two Grecian urns and a fountain.
Stop!
George!
Stop! Listen to this man!
Why, you gullible green grass goats.
Goats!
Can't you get it through your head that you're being swindled out of your eye teeth right now? This very minute. Why, there's a burglar in the bedroom and you're just fiddling in the parlor.
Who am I fiddling with?
I'm talking about Harold Hill.
Oh!
Yeah.
Road agent, highwayman, pickpocket. Same thing. Why, he's had his hand in your wallet, mister. And yours, little lady. Ever since he stepped foot into this town. Why, there's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band. There never has been any band. And there never will be any band. And if you don't hunt him down right now, like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now do you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for? I want my money back. Money back? I want his hide!
Yeah! After him. And when you grab him, bring him to the schoolhouse. After him. Down the meadow, cross the creek, by the privy!
For you.
Harold, I've been looking for Winthrop. He's ran away.
Well,
Go, Harold, please. They're even talking about tar and feathers.
Well, I had to see you, Marion.
It's all right. Don't you know that? You don't owe me a word, not a word. No, go, Harold.
Greg, he's nowhere over here. Let's try down by the creek.
Winthrop!
Well, hold on a minute there, son.
I'm not your son. Leave me go.
Not until I have a chance to talk to you for a minute.
You won't tell the truth. I won't listen.
I would too tell the truth.
Would not.
Would too tell you anything you want to know.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Let me go, you big liar!
Now, hold on a minute. You wanted the truth, didn't you? Now I'm bigger than you and I'm stronger and you're going to have to stand there and get it all, so you might as well quit wriggling. Now, there's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the first. That's why I wanted you in the band, so you'd quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
Well, I always think there's a band, kid.
I wish you'd never come to River City!
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Victor, you believe him?
Believe everything he ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised us. And it all happened just like he said. The lights and the flags and the colors and the symbols.
Here was all of the hat.
And the way every kid in town walked around here all summer and looked and acted, especially you. And the parents, too. Does Mama wish he'd never come to River City?
No, but you do.
No, I don't. Go, Harold, please.
Go on, Professor, that way.
Well, I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
It's for the first time in my life. I seem to have my foot caught in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it ringing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Hey, they're here! This way! Come on, this way!
Go on, Professor, that way, that way!
Which is why I interrupt this program at this time. Rest assured, the snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by this time. Yes, and always remember, fellow river citizens, I can only remind you so much that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from, happening. Fourscore.
What have you done to get our money back? That professor stole nearly $300 just today for uniforms.
He's slippery, I told you.
I haven't seen any uniforms or my boy since just after supper.
He's a kidnapper.
Fine situation here.
7 years ago. Oh, just a minute here. Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I have heard, who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, I should think there ought to be some of you who could forget our everlasting Iowa stubborn chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely there ought to be some of you who are grateful to him for what he's brought to River City. And if so, think you ought to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's a single soul in this hall who doesn't want this Professor Hill tarred and feathered, let him put up their hand. Oh, no. Eulalie, put it down. And the rest of you, putting him up like linen on a laundry line. Have you forgotten the purchasing of expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and promise that your boy and your girl would play in a band? Well, now, where's the band, huh? Where is the band? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay. You just, okay.
Thinking G, kids. Think.
My goodness! They're so good. That's my party! Linus, play to me, son. Play to me.